jump right into it. This first thing I want to get into is the shootouts that I was just mentioning. So let's get right over to it. Now we're going to be looking at this first thing. Shootouts, more shootouts in Texas. But looks like it was between a 19-year-old and a 51-year-old. I don't understand at what age why a 51-year-old me getting into a shootout, but he might be defending himself. But let's get into the video and see what's happening and what our thoughts on it. And remember to like and subscribe. And this is AC Reviews the World, and let's review the world together so we can just make sense of stuff. But let's jump right into the video.
Out in a Seagoville neighborhood leaves a 19-year-old dead and a 51-year-old behind bars.
The shooting was captured on a neighbor's surveillance camera. Larry Robertson is now facing a murder charge. Fox 4's David Santandri has more on what happened before and after the shooting. David.
Yeah, Stephen, Heather, that shootout happened in the middle of a neighborhood. At least one bullet went inside someone's home. There were parents and children out and about when this happened, again, around lunchtime yesterday. One of those neighbors who witnessed the shooting turned over some surveillance video to us. A shootout in the middle of a Seagoville neighborhood Sunday morning. A 19-year-old man is dead. 51-year-old.
Wow. Now let's back that up a little bit. Looks like a very nice neighborhood, but that don't mean nothing nowadays. Jesus, jumps right out.
Video to us. A shootout in the middle of a Seagoville neighborhood Sunday morning. A 19-year-old man is dead. 51-year-old Larry Robertson charged with murder.
51, and you getting charged with murder. 51, and you're about to get charged with murder. Jesus.
Robertson charged with murder.
My daughter was laying down on the bed watching TV, and the bullet came right through the window, and then she was screaming.
The shooting rattling Tanisha Ortega's family.
All that stuff is just out of control. You know, we're supposed to be in a safe environment. And if you're not safe in your home, where are you supposed to be safe at?
Surveillance video shared with police and obtained by Fox 4 reportedly shows Robertson driving a black Kia passenger car near the 19-year-old who's wearing a red sweatshirt. You hear words exchanged, then gunfire. The 19-year-old runs out of frame.
I know y'all saw that. Now look, you're looking closely. Looks like they were both. The 19-year-old, see right there at the top of the screen, he unloaded the pole too now. So first video made it look like the 51-year-old just shot him, but they both were exchanging gunshots. A lot of gunshots.
The 19-year-old runs out of frame as he's shot.
Call 911.
Ortega says she tried to help the young man before he died.
And I was just trying to keep him awake, you know, like.
You see the gun he had? Hold on, you see him walking back with that gun?
To help the young man before he died.
Ooh. Yeah.
And I was just trying to keep him awake, you know, like tell him, don't go to sleep, you know.
The Kia drives off. According to an arrest warrant, Seagoville police located the Kia and arrested Robertson, who's sharing his story with investigators.
And as far as I know, he is being cooperative.
According to the arrest affidavit, Robertson, who lives in the neighborhood, told police, "That dude came around my house. He had a pistol. He pointed it at me." Robertson's family later told police 2 males were seen on surveillance footage loitering around their home, and one knocked on their door. Robertson's family says he later went out looking for the 2. Footage shows Robertson return, then leave when he's clearly observed to be carrying a rifle. The department, however, believes the fatal shooting should have never happened.
Bad things happen everywhere.
Now, the real question, could you get away with this with self-defense? Because I'm assuming that's why he's so cooperative. He believes that he was in his right to defend himself. Or at least that's my thinking as a logical person. Now, the whole thing, he left, like he wasn't around his family no more. Like I understand, If he would have been knocking on the door with a pistol and you would have shot him at your house, then yeah, that's a different story. But he went out looking for him. Depends on who drew the weapon first to where he could say, oh, this is self-defense. The 19-year-old clearly, at least from the camera image that we were just looking at, shot as well. Now, if it was who first and who, whatever they come up with, but yeah, it's going to be a hard case to prove self-defense if you go out looking for. I'm assuming because you can't go out looking for someone who was potentially did some damage. But let's finish up this video.
But, this is not the way to solve it. Gun violence never solves anything.
While the affidavit mentions both Robertson and the 19-year-old exchanged gunfire, it does not specify who shot first. Both appear to display a weapon around the same time. No weapon was found on the 19-year-old, according to police records. It's unclear.
All right, so he ditched the weapon because we clearly in the video we just seen, he had a gun and they both lifted it at approximately around the same time. And if he didn't have the weapon on him when they found him dead, he ditched the weapon to get rid of it. Let's all think logically. I understand we a 19-year-old, yeah, we want to, but he had a gun as well, so.
If someone else was with him out of view during the shooting.
And then he just was gone just like that.
Ortega, who says she watched the 19-year-old pass away, describes it as a haunting encounter.
It just was like shocking. I don't even want to stay here no more. It's not safe,
To me, it looks like the 19-year-old shot first, but.
The 19-year-old has not been publicly identified by police at this point in time.
But we also need to remember we don't know the view of the 19-year-old. The 51-year-old could have had the gun out of the window and he upped it his. So we can't just rely on one camera angle, but that might be the only thing that they have to go on. So we don't know what's going to be about with that. But a 19-year-old did lose his life, and we have to, gun violence in general, you can't say it's bad people who you're going to need to use your gun against. And shouldn't be that way, but that is how it is. Is it a problem with gun laws? I don't think so. I think the main problem that's happening is that we need either bigger, more police force to help stop the people who are illegally using guns and threatening people, but you can't just be like higher gun laws to stop this kind of thing from happening. But in some states who have the highest gun laws still have some of the highest murder and criminal rates. So it's Second Amendment. But that was that video. We're going to keep following along. More stuff in Dallas, Fort Worth. Oh, Jesus. It's always something going on. All right, everybody, remember this is AC Reviews the Word. Remember to like and subscribe.